Hello everyone, welcome to Peach on Earth Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for Capricorn. Now normally I say that you can have Capricorn anywhere in your chart, or you could be a cross watcher. Now that is still true, but I am being specifically called to point out that this reading is for, the typical sun, moon, rising, Venus if it's a love reading, but then also specifically North Node is being called out for this whole month. So each sign this month is considered a North Node reading as well. So if your North Node is not in Capricorn, feel free to go look up your North Node reading if you feel so called. Now, if you don't know how to find your North Node, all you have to do is Google, how to find your birth chart. And I specifically use Cafe Astrology. That's the website that I've always been drawn to and feel comfortable with, but you can use whatever website you would like. I don't think you have to have your time or birthplace in order to find your North Node unless you are on the cusp or something, but it transitions every 18 months, so you probably won't be on the cusp, but just in case you are, then you would need your time and location. So anyway, a little bit about the North Node before we get into the reading here. So your North Node is always directly opposite of your South Node. So if you had a North Node in Capricorn, your South Node would be in Cancer. And then it goes, counterclockwise around the zodiac. So anyway, the North Node and South Node. Okay, so your South Node is kind of like your comfort zone. It's your karmic debt. It's kind of where we live in the first part of our lives, like before like a spiritual awakening or something. And then the North Node is something, it starts off as something that will trigger us. And, but it's actually like our truth. Like it's how we're supposed to actually live our lives. It's supposed to be our comfort zone versus our South Node that appears to be our comfort zone just to keep us in the same place. But when you start working through your woundings, your traumas, your karma, then you start seeing little glimpses into your North Node. And so I've been feeling this on a collective level where there's this huge transition that's happening where a lot of people are going from their South Node to their North Nodes right now. So yeah, so what I was getting for you before I started your reading, when I was shuffling all the decks and whatnot, is actually it's like a fear of complacency, and it's almost like that North Node. It's like you fear that once you reach your ultimate goal, that you will be complacent in life, and that is a very Capricorn fear. Because Capricorn always has to be going, go, 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 go. And so I'm getting the message that you could have just recently finished a huge project, and it's almost like you look forward and you get really scared because you don't know what comes next, and that unsettles you. Now it's interesting because when I was shuffling all the decks, I kept seeing a lot of the court cards. So that represents like there could be a lot of either people who have an opinion about what you should do next, or you have a lot of guides around you and you're having a hard time deciphering what each of them means and what they wish your next steps to be, all this stuff. So I think really like honing in on, I'm getting the message of like Akashic, like try to connect with your Akashic guides to try to find your next step. But really look into your North Node. I think your North Node is going to have a lot of answers for you about how you should move forward, because yeah, it's something like you are fearing complacency. Like your North Node could be in a sign, like a fixed sign. Capricorn is cardinal, and that's like always like kind of changing and evolving. right? There's cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Yeah, the cardinal is always like implementing change and like moving things forward. But your north node could maybe be in like a fixed sign, and so that's like conflicting energy for you. You don't want to be stagnant. Okay, so the way I get these cards is I shuffle them and then I fan them out face down, and I'm just like intuitively guided to what card I'm supposed to pick. Now it's interesting, the last time that one of these, so the cards, they have different paintings on each of the, there's like 5 or 6 different paintings on the back of the cards. And this one, I'm not seeing the way I saw it for the last time that one of these paintings came out. The last time it was like a person carrying like a child and the umbilical cord, like, I am kind of seeing that, but not fully. It's more like about, like for some reason it's these darker ones here that are being called to me. It's almost like a, I want to say like a mountain range. Or it's like tiers. Do you see that? Like a tier, like T-E-I-R, not T-E-A-R. So it's like tiers, like first step, second step, third step, fourth step. It's almost like, yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. Well, let's go ahead and look at the card. I normally do it so there's the letter U, or like a horseshoe. I mean, the letter U could mean something to you, but I don't know. Epona. Hang on. There's a fairy card. It says Epona's wild daughter. Okay, hang on. Epona is the Celtic and Roman patron goddess of horses and the cavalry, as well as fertility, victory, and freedom. So I'm trying to think, like, for some reason the horses gave me Sagittarius vibes. But hang on. Horses and the cavalry, as well as fertility, victory, and freedom. That victory and freedom, it's giving me those vibes of like what it is that you've accomplished. Like you've recently accomplished something and now you have this freedom to kind of like choose what to do next, and you're feeling very lost. And it's interesting that Epona's wild daughter came up. I'm probably not going to go look it up. You can if you want, but I'm probably not going to. What I'm being called to is like that Sagittarian energy. Sagittarian energy can be a little bit like wild. You know, and maybe it's like without structure, you're feeling a little bit, but it's a moving, Sagittarius likes to move forward, but it's just not as structured as like Capricorn likes to be structured. So maybe you have rising Sagittarius, I don't know. But I am getting that for some reason. So if you did have rising Sagittarius is actually in north node or south node right now. So normally I save the bottom for later in the reading, but I'm not going to. I'm going to look at it. It says, invoke Epona's magic to birth new ideas or release fears and inhibitions. Okay. Go where horses roam and spend time around them, saddling up and allowing yourself to become one with the majestic creature. Find a very old horseshoe. I did say horseshoe earlier. Interesting. And place it on your altar during the Sagittarius moon or full moon. That's weird that I said horseshoe and then like the Sagittarius thing. We just had the Sagittarius full moon. The Sagittarius new moon will be in late November or first 2/3 of December. Weird. Repeat Epona's name many times, imagining yourself full of unbridled possibilities. Hang the horseshoe in a U orientation above your door or altar to receive all Epona has to offer. It's interesting. And I'm being called to the bat is on the bottom of the pile here. Bats awaken you at uncomfortable moments, revealing the magic of the underworld and your darkest shadow self. These nocturnal creatures, feared in some cultures, good luck symbols in others, ask you to let go of your ego or whatever traps you've set for yourself as acts of protection. How is this serving you now? When the bat appears, do something to overcome your ego, an act that makes you fear embarrassment. This could be singing in public, revealing a secret, or attempting something new. Spread your wings like a bat and prepare to release from the strains of ego. Now, that's really interesting because I really feel like you're conflicted. Like, you could be Capricorn Sun and you're conflicted with your that's weird, I almost said your Sagittarian rising energy. You could be Sag rising, or the North Node could be Sagittarius. But it's interesting, you could feel conflicted with your North Node energy. And I think I like that advice of attempting or like doing something that makes you kind of check your ego. I think that's really important. I'm holding it up there so you can screenshot it if you would like. I'm going to do the same with Epona. Yeah, I just feel like you are... Yeah, do something that checks your ego, but it's like something to do with horses as well. You know, horses can be really intimidating because they're so big and they are so majestic. That it can be intimidating sometimes. So it's like, maybe you're not used to feeling intimidated by something. Like, I don't know, you've just come out of something where you succeeded, you won, and you turn around and you feel almost like back at the bottom or something. The King of Swords with the Hangman on the bottom. You know what I'm kind of getting here? Okay, so if you notice, the King of Swords, like all the kings in this deck are in chariots instead of thrones. They're all in chariots, pulled by different things. This one is being pulled by cherubs. And what I'm kind of seeing here is like the checking of the ego that's needing to happen. That's this is the truth sword. It's like the sword of Michael, Archangel Michael. And it's almost like, to me, it looks like he's going to bring it down and almost set the cherubs free. And it's kind of like you've always been pulled forward through logic. You know, that's the air energy and earth energy too. But it's almost like you've always been pulled forward by logic. Oh, look, I said air and earth, and this has Capricorn, Aquarius, Aquarius. But it's almost like time to sever the ego, I feel like there's something where your South Node is something about responsibility. Like, you have to always be responsible. You're not allowed to be out in the world in a free, like childlike energy. But it's almost like the universe is now coming to like sever your it's like a childlike nature with the cherubs there. But the Hangman on the bottom tells me it's like you're being called to kind of do this, but you're still looking at the situation. You don't know how to move it forward. you're having a hard time like letting the sword come down and free yourself. Okay, just one second. Okay, so I wanted to look in the book a little bit here, just because they have this book for this tarot deck is so beautiful. This is the Heaven and Earth Tarot. I don't know if I said that or not. The book, it just has wonderful descriptions. So I looked to look at them because this is a new deck too, so I haven't worked with it a whole lot. But it says here, this resource about him being pragmatic or whatever it says, gives him the ability to set clear and focused goals. When he puts the goals in motion, he can see them through to the end, adjusting any challenges or issues as they come up along the way. I think this is kind of just letting you know, like, even if you feel like you've reached the finish line, okay, and then your next goal is not super clear to you yet, and you kind of like, when you're looking around and what you should focus on, it's almost like you're getting too many messages. But I think the important thing here is to, it's almost like you have like so many doors before you, and it's important like you're to take a look at each one. You don't have to act right this second. I think especially paired with this Hangman, it's like it's okay to take a second to look behind each door and see where you want to go next. I'm getting something about once you cut, like, once you let like your childlikeness free, that it will guide you towards the right door. So there could be something about inner child healing that needs to happen here, that could be setting you free. Okay, that could potentially set you free. No, what's the it's a lot of cards. Okay, 8 of Wands, 10 of Wands, 9 of Swords, and then the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so this Queen of Pentacles, she's looking forlorn, but that's the Capricorn energy. That's so Capricorn energy, the Queen of Pentacles. What's on the bottom? The Tower is on the bottom. Okay, the Tower with the 8 of Wands here, it's almost like how I was talking about, like the childhood energy needs to be set free. It's almost like you're going to be getting hit with a download soon. It's like behind one of those doors is something, it's going to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. I will say that, but it's going to let you live in your full power. But so as soon as the message comes in, it's like, I think you're seeing how it is that you've been controlled in life. It's almost like that South Node energy is like how you have been trapped in South Node. That's like the 10 of Wands energy. It's like maybe you didn't even know what South and North nodes were until this reading, and you're looking it up and it's like something's triggering you, like about why you've lived the way you've lived, why you've carried the burdens that you've carried. And it's really distressing. It's almost like, because the 9 of Swords is about anxiety and fear, and it's almost like you see something that has been holding you back for what it truly is, and it's like heartbreaking almost. But you know that by recognizing it and dealing with it and doing that inner child work, that you could reach your full potential. I don't know, but you just look so sad. Like it's almost like in order to reach your full potential, you have to kind of like cut something out of your life that you don't know if you're ready to cut out, just because she's by herself. She's sitting there by herself. And do you see in the Tower card how it's like a person with a red, well, it's actually like, I guess, a red cloak. But I was being called like she's wearing a red dress. And it's almost like something, you're being separated from something that brought you comfort. That South Node, it's almost like whatever it was that you were comfortable with. And it's almost like that's the finish line. You're seeing the finish line, and maybe you weren't super comfortable with the finish line approaching when it did, but it did, and you have to deal with it. Like, that's the Tower energy. It's like, but everything happens in perfect timing. It's not, you wouldn't get a message that you weren't supposed to hear if Spirit didn't want you to hear it. If they wanted you to stay where you were, but you don't feel ready. You don't feel ready to let go of all of these burdens, because the Ten of Wands is about carrying burdens, but they're not even our burdens to carry. You're carrying burdens for other people. They've given them to you throughout your whole life, and it's the end of that cycle. It's about putting them down, and by putting them down, I think that you're being really hard on yourself about it. But it is what you're supposed to be doing. Now, I kind of want to get some advice for you, but I don't have an extra deck out here to get advice. Okay, I'm actually going to flip this one over. The Three Muses. When you're in need of inspiration, stroke the creative fires of Polyhymnia, Talia, or Calliope, the Greek goddesses of poetry, comedy, and singing. Light incense of amber, frankincense, or any scent that awakens your senses. Leave your creative tools near the smoke, your instrument, journal, paintbrush, whatever it is that you do creatively, and visualize these tools infused with an artist muse. Recite any of the following. Let Polyhymnia guide my pen and allow poetic revelations to flow. Talia, bestow me the gift of laughter through all of life's moments. Calliope, let me sing out proudly the voice of beauty and truth. That's really interesting, because what one was it? Oh, the bat energy. How I was saying to like do something to let go of your ego. It's almost like in the singing in public. I don't know why I'm getting that, but it's almost like you're needing to let go of it could be a fear, but you're using your ego, like your ego tells you you're above something, but it's actually a fear, like a fear of doing that. Yeah, so it could definitely be, you're so, Capricorn energy is so earthly. It's about getting things done, like money, job, cleaning, like all the earthly things that keep us grounded. That's what Capricorn energy is about. It's like moving those things forward. But it's almost like you're being called to put the Capricorn energy down. It's still always a part of you. You are the Queen of Pentacles, but it's almost like you can't let it rule you anymore. You have to let some creativity into your life, some spiritual growth, something of that nature. Okay, I don't know what. It's going to be different for everyone, and how you let this come into your life, but that's what you're being called to do currently. So Capricorn, this has been your reading. I hope it was helpful. If it was, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. I thank any of you for being present today. Any of your guides that were present, any of my guides that were present, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.